Let's dive deeper into the environmental impact of fast fashion. One of the most significant issues is the use of synthetic fibers. These fibers, such as polyester, nylon, and acrylic, are derived from fossil fuels and are not biodegradable. When washed, they release microplastics into the water, which eventually end up in the ocean, harming marine life. Additionally, the production of these fibers is energy-intensive and contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. By choosing natural fibers like cotton, wool, or hemp, we can reduce our environmental footprint. Another critical aspect to consider is the social impact of fast fashion. The industry relies heavily on low-wage labor in developing countries, where workers often face poor working conditions, long hours, and minimal pay. This exploitation is a direct result of the demand for cheap clothing. In countries like Bangladesh, India, and China, garment workers are paid as little as $3 per day, barely enough to cover basic living expenses. These workers often toil in unsafe conditions, reminiscent of the Rana Plaza collapse in 2013, which tragically killed over 1,100 workers. Child labor is also a pervasive issue, with young children being forced to work long hours for almost no pay. This exploitation is not just an economic issue, it's a human rights crisis. By supporting fair trade and ethical brands, we can help improve the lives of these workers and promote more sustainable practices in the fashion industry. When we choose to buy from companies that prioritize fair wages and safe working conditions, we are making a statement that human lives are more valuable than cheap clothing. Every purchase is a vote for the kind of world we want to live in. So next time you shop, ask yourself, are you supporting exploitation or are you advocating for meaningful change? Let's talk about the significant role of consumers in driving meaningful change in the market. As consumers, we hold immense power to influence the market by making more conscious and informed choices. This means being mindful of our purchasing habits, supporting sustainable brands, and advocating for better practices in the fashion industry. Every decision we make can have a ripple effect. By raising awareness and educating others about the detrimental impact of fast fashion, we can create a collective movement towards a more sustainable future. It's about building a community of informed consumers. Consider this. Every purchase you make is a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. Your choices matter more than you might think. When you choose to buy from brands that prioritize ethical practices, you're not just buying a product. You're supporting a cause. You're investing in a better future. You're saying yes to fair wages, safe working conditions, and environmentally friendly materials. These choices help create a more equitable world. It's not just about what we buy, but how we buy. Our purchasing habits can drive significant change. Thrifting, buying second-hand, and choosing timeless pieces over trendy ones can significantly reduce our environmental footprint. These small actions add up. And let's not forget the power of our voices. Speaking up can lead to real change. By sharing information, signing petitions, and participating in campaigns, we can pressure brands to adopt more sustainable practices. Collective action amplifies our impact. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but every small step counts. Each action contributes to a larger movement. Together, we can turn the tide against fast fashion and pave the way for a more ethical and sustainable industry. Our collective efforts can make a difference. The power is in our hands. What will you choose? Your choices today shape the world of tomorrow. Finally, let's explore some innovative solutions that are emerging in the fashion industry. These solutions are not just trends. They are transformative approaches that aim to reshape the way we think about clothing and its impact on the environment. From biodegradable fabrics to circular fashion models, there are many exciting developments aimed at reducing the environmental impact of clothing production. These innovations are paving the way for a more sustainable future, where fashion and environmental responsibility go hand in hand. For example, some companies are experimenting with materials like mushroom leather and algae-based fabrics, which are both sustainable and biodegradable. These materials offer a promising alternative to traditional textiles, which often rely on resource-intensive processes and harmful chemicals. Imagine wearing a jacket made from mushrooms or a dress crafted from algae. These materials are not only eco-friendly but also offer a unique aesthetic. They challenge the conventional notions of fashion and open up new possibilities for creativity and innovation. This is not science fiction, it's happening right now. Designers and brands are actively exploring these materials, pushing the boundaries of what is possible in sustainable fashion. These innovations represent a significant shift towards more sustainable practices in fashion. They highlight the industry's commitment to reducing its environmental footprint and promoting a more responsible approach to production. Additionally, the concept of circular fashion promotes the idea of designing clothes that can be easily recycled or repurposed, reducing waste and extending the life cycle of garments. This approach encourages a more thoughtful and sustainable way of consuming fashion. Circular fashion encourages brands to think beyond the traditional linear model of production and disposal. It challenges them to create products with a longer lifespan and a smaller environmental impact. Instead, they focus on creating products that can be returned, reused, and regenerated, minimizing the need for new resources. This approach not only conserves resources but also fosters a culture of sustainability and innovation. Several brands are now adopting these practices, offering take-back programs where consumers can return their old clothes for recycling. These programs are a testament to the industry's growing commitment to sustainability. This not only helps reduce textile waste, but also fosters a culture of responsibility and sustainability. It encourages consumers to think about the life cycle of their clothing and make more conscious choices. As consumers, supporting these innovative solutions can make a huge difference. By choosing to buy from brands that prioritize sustainability, we can help drive the industry towards more responsible practices. By choosing brands that prioritize sustainable materials and circular models, we can help drive the industry towards a more ethical and environmentally friendly future. Our choices as consumers have the power to influence the market and encourage more brands to adopt sustainable practices. The future of fashion is not just about looking good, it's about doing good. It's about making choices that benefit both people and the planet. And with these groundbreaking innovations, we are one step closer to a more sustainable world. The fashion industry is evolving, and it's up to us to support and accelerate this change. So, next time you shop, ask yourself, is this brand part of the problem or part of the solution? Your choices matter, and they can help shape the future of fashion. Together, we can make a difference. By supporting sustainable fashion, we can contribute to a healthier planet and a more ethical industry. Trendy clothes, cheap prices, and new styles every week. This is the world of fast fashion. But behind the glamorous outfits and budget-friendly prices lies a dark truth. Fast fashion is one of the biggest threats to our planet. It's poisoning our water, exploiting workers, and filling landfills with waste. The question is, are we paying the real price for cheap fashion? Fast fashion is a business model used by brands like Zara, H&M, Forever 21, and Shein, where clothes are made quickly, cheaply, and in large quantities. These brands produce new designs every week, encouraging people to buy more and throw away old clothes. But here's the problem. It's not sustainable. Fast fashion is destroying our environment in three major ways. Water pollution. Factories dump chemicals and dyes into rivers, poisoning water sources. The fashion industry is responsible for 20% of global wastewater. Carbon emissions. Producing clothes in massive quantities requires energy. The fashion industry emits more CO2 than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. Textile waste. Because trends change so fast, 85% of clothes end up in landfills or are burned, releasing toxic gases into the air. The reality? Most clothes are made from synthetic fibers like polyester, which take over 200 years to decompose. So that cheap t-shirt you wore once, it might outlive you. The environmental damage is just one side of the story. The other side? Human suffering. Fast fashion brands keep prices low by outsourcing production to developing countries like Bangladesh, India, and China. Here's what they don't want you to know. Workers are paid as little as $3 per day. Many factories have unsafe conditions, with deadly accidents like the Rana Plaza collapse in 2013, which killed over 1,100 workers. Some factories use child labor, forcing kids to work long hours for almost no pay. All this, so that influencers can show off cheap hauls and people can buy clothes they'll wear just once. Many brands now claim to be sustainable with eco-friendly collections. But don't be fooled, it's often just greenwashing. H&M's Conscious collection was exposed for misleading customers. Most of the clothes were still made with harmful materials. Shein, the biggest fast fashion giant, launches 10,000 new products daily. Can a company this big ever be truly sustainable? The truth? Big brands won't stop producing fast fashion unless we stop buying it. So, is there a way out? Yes, but it requires change from both consumers and brands. Here's what you can do. Buy less, choose wisely. Instead of buying 10 cheap shirts, invest in one high-quality piece that lasts. Thrift and buy second-hand. Thrifting is cheaper, sustainable, and unique. Support ethical brands. Look for companies that are transparent about their production process. Recycle and donate. Instead of throwing away clothes, donate them or upcycle them into something new. Fast fashion exists because we demand cheap and trendy clothes. But we have a choice: to keep supporting a system that harms the planet and people, or to change the way we shop. The real question is, will you be part of the problem or the solution? The choice is yours. Remember, every purchase you make has a ripple effect. By choosing to buy less and buy better, you can influence the market. Imagine a world where fashion is slow, sustainable, and ethical. It starts with us, the consumers. Together, we can demand better practices from brands and create a future where fashion doesn't come at the cost of our planet or people. So next time you shop, think twice. Your choices matter more than you think.